Good evening, YouTubers. This is your zip code Farik. Matt Shiny here in the 92805 zip code at the ZCF Studios in Southern California on this Monday, June 22nd in the evening. And today's zip code is still in the state of Pennsylvania. 16415, Fairview, Pennsylvania. It's one of two Fairviews, at least, in Pennsylvania. This one happens to be on the shores of Lake Erie, about 10 miles west of the city of Erie. This area was called Fairview because one of the first settlers here took a look out at the lake and said, there's not a fairer view than this one that he'd ever experienced. So that's how it got its name. Around about the mid-1800s is when this place really started hopping because of the Erie Canal, because of the railroad coming through, stagecoaches before that. And now it's known for fishing, but then, it may have been known for fishing, freshwater fishing because of the creeks that flow into it, and Lake Erie is indeed a freshwater lake, mostly steelhead trout, but also, and you fishermen can correct me if I was wrong on if it was being a trout or some other fish, or steelhead's its own species. But there's other things that go on here too. Right now, it's a very, very affluent area. $108,214 per year is the median household income. Median house value is $364K, 92.5% white, 2.3% Asian, 2.4% two or more races, 5.1% poverty rate, which is less than half of Pennsylvania's 11.6, about 24 square miles, and 10,318 people in this area as of 2026. Median age is 40.8 years, so there's mature people here. There's also something about this area in general, and the Great Lakes, especially Pennsylvania and Ohio, that people don't realize, and I keep forgetting about it too. Both Pennsylvania and Ohio have water borders with Canada, and they do. Pennsylvania does. It does not have a land border with Canada, but has a water border with Canada. And I was looking around to see if Canada could actually be seen, that is the mainland, could be seen from here. It turns out most days, no. It's about a 34-mile journey across the lake from Fairview to the Canadian shore. And because of the curvature of the earth, usually you can't see it. Also, there's fog a lot of the time. But there are occasional very clear days where you can, especially if you have a pair of binoculars. And sometimes there's an air inversion. Usually, cold air sits on top with the warmer air of the lake over the lake. Sometimes there's that inversion where the cold air is under the warm air, and that's when the light bends, and you can actually see what's called a fata morgana, which is a mirage-like effect. And you'll see the Canadian, some of the taller buildings on the Canadian side. You'll see them floating, in the distance, and that's when you can actually see the Canadian shore. And it happens every so often. As for famous people, there's a man by the name of Jim Hart. It was from the early days of baseball. He was born in 1855, died in 1919. He's a baseball manager for U.S. and U.K. teams. In fact, he helped establish management practices in the U.K. as far as baseball was concerned. Two of the teams he managed here in the 1880s were the Louisville Colonels. I think of Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried Chicken when I think of that. And the Boston Bean Eaters. Those were the names of the teams back in that day for those cities. He managed both of them, among others, and he got really involved with his team members, including bawling them out when they screwed up, which is what a good manager is supposed to do. But seeing that baseball was invented in 1839, and this man, he was there almost at the very beginning of the game, the 1880s, only 25 years or so. Well, maybe about 40 years after the game was invented, and in the early days of the leagues. Okay, so Fairview. So as far as weather, right now it's 63 degrees, 86% humidity, and it's cloudy. Tomorrow, high of 72, low of 55, partly cloudy. Wednesday, high of 72, low of 62, cloudy. Thursday, high of 77, low of 63, thunderstorms. So the 16415, Fairview, Pennsylvania, and Erie County. If you hit like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.